Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with Ask DC Network number 11. Our first question today comes from Darth Bader, who asked, how is life? Life is good, thanks for asking, I can't complain. And secondly, how long do you think it will take until the next Ben 10 series shall be announced? So this is actually a really interesting question, because if you guys have been watching all my videos about the 6th iteration of Ben 10, the next series, you guys would know that Duncan Rolu, one of the creators of Ben 10, he stated back in like July, I think, maybe June, just around the summertime, right? He said that Ben 10, the 6th iteration, whatever the new Ben 10 series was going to be, it was hopefully going to be announced before the end of 2021, and obviously that didn't happen. I'm personally not really surprised that it didn't happen. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I thought that we're probably not going to get the announcement till like maybe the first quarter of this year, 2022. The reason I say that is because a lot of times things get pushed back internally over at Cartoon Network. Like for example, the finale of Ben 10, the reboot, right? The 5th iteration of Ben 10. That was supposed to get a trailer back at like end of 2020. I think like December, maybe January of 2021. And we ended up not getting a trailer until right before it premiered in March. I want to say mid-February was when we got the trailer for the 3 Ben 10 reboot specials, but yeah, things get pushed back internally, so I'm really not surprised that it hasn't been announced yet. I think it's probably going to come sometime between now and the spring, and I'm sure there's going to be more videos about me talking about this in the future, so definitely keep your eyes posted on the channel for that. Nathan Stubblefield asks, did you see the new Spider-Man No Way Home movie? Yes, I did, and before I say anything else, if you guys haven't seen the movie yet and you want to avoid spoilers, skip this question. So, I saw the movie, and unlike most people, I personally did not love the movie. I didn't think it was a bad movie at all. The reason I didn't love it is I just didn't like it as the 3rd installment in the Spider-Man home series, you know, the Tom Holland trilogy. I feel like this would have been great as its own spin-off movie, not tied to a trilogy of films, because this is the finale of the Tom Holland trilogy. Rumor has it that we're going to get another trilogy with Tom Holland in the MCU, but this was the finale of the Spider-Man home trilogy. And I feel like what I would have preferred to see is obviously in this movie, the multiverse gets heavily involved, right? We see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, we see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, a bunch of villains from every Spider-Man movie that came before, and I really enjoyed that part of it. It was great to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield again and all the respective villains as well. But what I think would have been more interesting from a narrative perspective as the conclusion to the Spider-Man home trilogy with Tom Holland, at the point at which, if you guys remember, if you saw the movie, at the point at which Daredevil is introduced and he's saying, hey Peter, you're free of any legal troubles that you have, don't worry about it, you're fine, you've just got to lay low because, you know, public eye people don't like you. I think at that point in the movie I would have switched it so that they say, hey, you're in a bunch of legal trouble, right? You're in serious trouble, you gotta lay low, you cannot be Spider-Man right now because I'm trying to save you from going to prison because they think you killed Mysterio. Like, you gotta lay low, Peter. I think that would have been really interesting to then see after that point, hey, now there's a new villain. Let's just say Green Goblin's the villain. I know there were rumors about Kraven the Hunter as well for this role, but there's any villain you want from the Spider-Man universe. Just for argument's sake, let's say it's Green Goblin, right? So Green Goblin is basically terrorizing the city of New York, right? But Peter has to lay low and not fight Green Goblin because then that would hurt his legal case. But Peter basically is internally saying, I can't watch this bad guy destroy and hurt the people of New York. I have to do something to stop him. So basically what I think would have been cool is if we have to see Peter basically fight this bad guy on the low. He can't be seen, so he has to try to stay hidden fighting this bad guy. Then throughout the events of the movie, I would assume or think that, you know, someone's going to see that Spider-Man's fighting Green Goblin, and then that's going to hurt his legal case. And then by the end of the film, they could have had it be that something happens where it's revealed that Peter's actually a good guy because he stopped Green Goblin, and then people find out, hey, he didn't actually kill Mysterio. Mysterio was actually a bad guy. I feel like that would have been a really interesting way to conclude the Tom Holland Spider-Man home trilogy, but instead they went with this. Again, I think this is not a bad movie. I think it's a good film. I just prefer it as its own spin-off film as opposed to the conclusion of a trilogy, if that makes sense. Cardi Cartoons asks, what is your favorite Cartoon Network programming block? So my favorite Cartoon Network programming block that I remember watching basically every Friday night when it used to be on is the Action Friday block. I don't know exactly what it was called, but I remember every Friday night they would have Cartoon Network Action Fridays, or again, whatever it was called, and they'd basically play the new episodes of Ben 10 Alien Force, Sym-Bionic Titan, basically all the different action shows at the time, Generator Rex, and many others. Every Friday night they'd have those action shows air new episodes, and I just remember for a long time when that block was on, every Friday night I was locked into Cartoon Network to check out the new episodes of all of these different action shows. So that is by far my favorite block, but there's a lot of great other ones as well, like Toonami. I remember watching that a lot, and Maguzi as well. But my favorite one is the Action Friday night block from back in the day. Abdul asks, any updates on the new Ben 10 series? So obviously I touched on this a little bit before, that I think the new series will be announced between now and the spring. But as for official updates, Duncan Rolu did talk about it recently, and all he really said was he can't say when it's going to be announced, so there's that. We don't know what's happening, but like I said, I would assume probably between now and the springtime. Dexter asks, what's the best Cartoon Network and Hanna-Barbera show that you've ever seen? So as many of you may know, my favorite Cartoon Network series is Ben 10, but as for Hanna-Barbera shows, my favorite one is The Flintstones. I really enjoyed watching The Flintstones. I've seen every episode. I have it on Blu-ray, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Bedrock when that comes out sometime in the future. Abba Gamer asks, do you think there's going to be more action shows on Cartoon Network? So yes, I definitely think there will be more action shows. I think the one confirmed one right now is Batman Caped Crusader. I know you mentioned Unicorn Warriors Eternal, but I'm not 100% sure that's confirmed to be an action series. As for what else there could be, I personally think whatever the next iteration of Ben 10 is going to go back to being an action-oriented show, and I'm sure we're going to have some other series come in the future that are going to be action first. I think we're going to see a little bit of a resurgence of the action genre on Cartoon Network. I don't think it's going to be as big as it was back in the early 2010s, but I do think it's going to take a little bit of a resurgence, and we're going to see maybe they'll have an action block again like they used to back in the day. Fire Types Forever asks, what shows do you think Cartoon Network should have on their schedule instead of airing Craig of the Creek, Teen Titans Go, and The Amazing World of Gumball all the time? So I think in general, if you have a series that is currently ongoing, so like for example, Elliot from Earth, I think that those shows should be played on your channel every day just during your schedule. Here's the problem though with doing that right now with a show like Elliot from Earth. For a show like Elliot from Earth, there's just not enough episodes to have it be a part of your schedule, which is a part of a whole bigger issue in general that I have with Cartoon Network that I've spoken about before, is the way they air their episodes, their new episodes, is just not good. They gotta go back to having one episode a week, or maybe 2 episodes a week since they're only 11 minutes each, but 1 or 2 episodes a week, and you have it play for like a month or 2, and then you're on a hiatus and you're in between seasons. Because the way they do it right now, you pump out 16 episodes over the span of 2 weeks. The show's been on hiatus now for 10 months, I want to say, and they only have 16 episodes that they've aired in 10 months, so you can't exactly be rerunning a show like Elliot from Earth on Cartoon Network because there's just not enough episodes to air. Once you air it for a week or 2, you've aired all the episodes, and then what do? Just air the same 16 episodes twice a month or 3 times a month? That's the issue they've run into there, but otherwise, just any show they're currently producing, I think should be on their schedule. In addition to that, I also think they should air some classic series too, like Edda and Eddie, or Foster Some for Imaginary Friends, Ben 10, Adventure Time, Regular Show. Any of these series, I think that if they're a good series that was a hit back in the day, there's no reason why you can't put a half-hour time slot every day for an episode of that series to air a rerun. I don't think there's any reason not to. Dragon Ball Universe asks, what if Cartoon Network went full Nickelodeon? So he has a lot more there, but what he means by this is Nickelodeon has Nick, it has Teen Nick, it has Nicktoons and Nick Jr. What if Cartoon Network did this as well? And this is something that I've wanted them to do for years, honestly. Back from the late 2000s, I always used to wonder, why does Nick have like 5 different channels and Cartoon Network has 2? true. It has Cartoon Network and Boomerang, and that's it. I've always thought that Adult Swim is big enough, and it should have its own channel, but yet it's been relegated to a block on Cartoon Network since its inception. I really would love to see, which this isn't going to happen anymore just because of the decline in cable subscriptions and all that jazz, what's happening with streaming, but I really would love to see Adult Swim get its own channel. And same thing with Cartoonito. That way you have Boomerang, you've got Cartoonito, you've got Cartoon Network, and then you have Adult Swim. I think that's what they should have done many, many years ago, but at this point I don't think they're ever going to do it because, like I said, cable's not doing as well as it used to anymore. It's on the downhill, it's on the decline, so I don't think they're going to invest more money into it at this given point, but I would have loved to have seen Cartoon Network have multiple channels in the past, but for whatever reason, they decided to never do so. But yeah, I don't know why they've never done it, but I really wish that they would have at some point. Princewell asks, what's your favorite era of Cartoon Network? So I'm going to answer this in two ways. Number one, what the best era of Cartoon Network is in my opinion. So for me, the best era of Cartoon Network is the mid 2000s to the late 2000s. That's just the time where there were so many great shows on. I think it's probably the time at which they had the best lineup of series, and I just, in my opinion, nothing beats that era. But the one that I have the most fond memories of, and might be my favorite era just because of just the memories I have at that time, is the early 2010s, honestly. Like up until I want to say like 2013 or 14, before the network really went downhill, I really just have a lot of great memories of watching Cartoon Network at that time. Shows like Adventure Time, regular shows, Steven Universe, The Amazing World of Gumball, Ben 10, Omniverse, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, those all aired during that time, and there was a ton of other action shows airing at that time as well. And I just have a lot of fond memories of that era of Cartoon Network. I don't think it's the best one, but it probably is my favorite just because of the memories I have watching that era of the channel. Tajmir asks, and I'm sorry if I said that wrong, if Cartoon Network makes a new block that would feature regular show, Adventure Time, Steven Universe, and older 2000s shows, how would you feel? I think there's no reason for them not to do this. This is something that I've been wanting them to do for a long time, and especially now, they aired a bunch of old classic series during the month of December for their holiday block that they had going for them. So why not do that at every given point of the year? There's really no reason not to. It'd be great to see them do, like, in an ideal world, it'd be great if they had one block a day, like every day from, like, let's say 7 to 9 o'clock. They have 2 hours worth of classic Cartoon Network series airing. But even if they don't want to go that far, they could just do it like one night a week, like Friday nights or Saturday nights for 3-4 hours. You have just a bunch of classic series airing every single week. I think that would be great to see, and I really hope that they do that at some point, but there's no reason for them not to, honestly, and like I said, I really hope they do it. Tavi Prods asks, if you were working at Cartoon Network and you were asked to do something special for its home media department because of its 30th anniversary, what would you do? So I recently made a video about my ideal 30th anniversary plans, and I'll leave that in the card above. But as for the home media department, I touched on this a little bit in the video, but basically what I would want to do is make a bunch of box sets of their older series. So shows like Ben 10, the Powerpuff Girls, and other shows as well, have them release in Blu-ray box sets or DVD box sets. In an ideal world, I'd like to remaster some of these series in HD, but I don't know if they necessarily do that, so just release some box sets of these older series. The thing is where do you draw the line? How many box sets do you actually release? And that's the tricky point here. What shows would they pick and choose to do? Like, for example, I really want to see a regular show Blu-ray box set. I'd love to see an Adventure Time Blu-ray box set. I know we have a DVD box set, but the show was made in HD. It was meant to be watched in HD. Can we please release it in HD on a Blu-ray box set instead of just you're stuck in SD with a DVD box set? That's besides the point, but shows like that, like, where would they draw the line? Like I said, I'd want to see regular show. I'd want to see a complete box set of Ben 10, Conan Kids Next Door, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Ed and Eddie, Foster Home for Imaginary Friends, Powerpuff Girls. I could go on and on and on, but obviously they're not going to release like 25 different box sets. So where do they draw the line? That's the thing I'm curious about. I hope they do release a box set of at least I'd say 5 series maybe. If we're doing complete series box set, I'd say let's do like 5 series. If they're doing just individual seasons of different shows, then I'd say they'd have to cover like 10 series. But in the ideal world, I would want them to remaster some of their series on Blu-ray box sets. Let's just say 5 series, because I don't think they do more than that, but that's what I would want them to do. Will they do it? We'll have to wait and see. I do think we will have some home media release. It's just a matter of what will they do. Maybe they'll make, hey, this would be cool too. I just thought of this. Maybe they'll make just one big release, one DVD or Blu-ray that says the best of the past 30 years over at Cartoon Network, and they have different episodes of different shows from the past 30 years. I think that'd be something really cool to see. They used to do that back in the day with their Halloween DVDs and their Christmas DVDs, and they even had the Friday nights DVDs. So that would be cool to see if they had like, this is our 30th anniversary box set, and it has like 40 or 50 episodes on it, and I think that'd be something cool as well. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see what they do for their 30th anniversary. Renderson22 asks, based on your last video about Cartoon Network finally listening to the fans, do you think that this could mean we can try to convince them that we want Teen Titans Season 6? So, just in general, honestly, if there's a show or a movie that people want to see, and there's a lot of people who want to see it, let the creators know, let the networks know that, hey, we want to see this new series. For example, and I always go back to this, Star Wars The Clone Wars was canceled for whatever reason, we don't know, but it was canceled when Disney bought Lucasfilm from George Lucas, and for years people were saying hashtag save the Clone Wars, hashtag save the Clone Wars, and from the day that hashtag gained traction, I personally thought it's a matter of time until the series comes back. There are too many people asking for it to come back for them not to do it, and obviously we know that they released a 7th season of Star Wars The Clone Wars. And a quick side note for my Star Wars fans out there, I don't think that's the end of the Clone Wars. I think we're going to get more at some point. But what that shows me is, if there's fan involvement, if you let people respectfully know, hey, we want to see more of this series, it's a fan favorite, we really want to see where the story goes next. If people have enough, if there's enough traction, if there's enough people tweeting that hashtag, like hashtag Teen Titans Season 6 or Save Teen Titans or whatever the hashtag might be, I think that in most cases, they'll probably listen. The reason why is because it's basically a guarantee at success, as good of a guarantee or as close to a guarantee as you can get. Because unless if they just massively screw it up somehow, people are going to watch Teen Titans Season 6. Everyone's going to be clamoring and running towards HBO Max if they put it on there to go see Teen Titans Season 6. Same thing goes for Infinity Train. Like, there's a hashtag, I believe it was like Save Infinity Train or Complete Infinity Train, something like that. That gained a lot of traction. It got the attention of people over at Cartoon Network and Warner Media. It's a matter of, will they bring back Infinity Train? Will they act on it? I don't know, but the most you can do is let them know you want to see it. And if you let them know you want to see it and there's enough people saying it, they'll probably listen at some point. It might not be during year 1 or year 2 of that hashtag trending, but if over the span of a few years fans keep saying hashtag save the Clone Wars, eventually, like Disney did, eventually they'll listen, and eventually they probably will bring back the Clone Wars, or in this case, as you said, Teen Titans Season 6. So absolutely, I think that if enough people are tweeting about it, if respectfully, like I said, because you don't want to be attacking people, that's not going to help anybody. But if enough people are tweeting about it, saying, hey, hashtag save Teen Titans, make a 6th season, we really want to see where the story goes next, I think it's a matter of time until they do it. But we'll have to wait and see if they end up making Teen Titans Season 6 anytime soon. Because I've said this before in other videos, I'm honestly shocked that we're now in 2022 and we haven't seen it yet. I thought in 2017 it was going to come in a year or two, and obviously it's been 5 years since then, so yeah. Anyways, that's it for Ask D.C Network number 11. Thank you all for your great questions, and I'll see you guys next time.